Hey there, happy Monday. Thanks for joining me here tonight. We are continuing on the Granny Square Quilt. It is week 1 of the month. It is February. I didn't even think about that till just now. It is February. That's crazy town. But all right, you guys, we are continuing on the Granny Square Quilt. We got just a couple more. I think we just have like 4 more of our strips. These little strips, guys, here are going to turn into our gorgeous Granny Square quilt block. So we just have 4 more, and then we can sew the sashing on, and we are on our way to a quilt. So awesome, I'm excited. So thanks for joining me here. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for the beginning crafter. And I'm here every weeknight, Monday through Friday at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. And it's a time that we can just relax and craft together, just hang out and chit-chat. So thanks, you guys, for being here. I'm here for about an hour, and I work on projects from beginning to end, so you can be part of the process along the way. So again, we are working on the Granny Square Quilt. We are so close to being ready to assemble this whole thing. We even have the borders done already. We've done that already. We skipped ahead and did the borders, and now we're going back to do these final little blocks, and they start from these strips that we've sewn together, so different length strips, and from each length we're going to be able to chop like a bunch of like almost patchwork squares. So this will be like 2 together, then we go to a little bit shorter strip, and then we have 3, a little bit shorter strip, and we have 4. So it's just kind of a fun process that just strips like that can turn into this super duper patchworky looking block here. So it mimics that crocheted Granny Square look. This is one of my favorite quilts for sure that we've worked on here. It's been so fun to play with color. It's just magic how the strips turn into these patchwork blocks. I love all that. I like that magic. So, all right, let's see. We should be able to get maybe 1.5 of these done tonight. Ooh, we might get all 4 done this week. Ooh, that'd be great. All right, and you guys, it is the new month, which means there is a new embroidery of the month. We actually have 2. There's a reason for that. So here's the first one. It is fuzzles. This is a word we use a lot here. It's all of our little scraps of fabric, scraps of thread that get stuck on you and everything. We kind of call them fuzzles here. And this has been asked for a little while. A fuzzles piece. So this is our fuzzles. And I didn't know if everyone would like the whole fuzzle thing, so I did a scrappy one as well. So this one says scrappy on it. And this uses a technique called couching, where we actually are holding down just pieces of floss with other pieces of floss. So these, all the colors except for the orange on this are just floating there. They're just being held down by the orange stitches. So we haven't done that technique here yet, so I'm excited to do that with you guys. So we'll do that the 3rd week of the month. That gives you enough time to order bundles if you want. The other special thing about the bundles this month is that we are pre-printing the fabric with the pattern there. So this month you'll get it pre-printed along with the floss and the needle. So you won't get the stick and stitch this time. It'll be pre-printed, ready to go. You can just start out of the box there. So that is the plan for this month, the couching technique of embroidery. So if you haven't done that before, I think this is going to be just fun. And there is so much flexibility and so much that you can do with couching, and we'll dig into some of that more. So again, that'll be week 3, and the bundles and the PDF patterns are available as of yesterday. As of last night, I think, actually. As of last night. So, all right, you guys. Thanks again. Let's get going on this Granny Square Quilt. All right. So nice to see everyone here. And thanks, everyone, for who purchased that already. I'm just paging through your comments and stuff now here. Is that a bigger hoop? No, Kathy, it is the 8-inch hoop. So sometimes we have... here we go. So sometimes we have our 4-inch hoop, and sometimes it's our 8-inch. So those are the two sizes that we carry. But here, so there you can see all of these extra threads. Everything that's not that orange is actually couched, which means it's held down by other little stitches. So they're just floating. That's just floating thread in place there that's held down by these little stitches. I actually kind of think this looks like a champagne bottle. I think it's going to be fun. And then if you're not down with the whole fuzzle thing, we have scrappy as well. So it's basically like we're taking scrap thread and turning it into a whole other design. I'm pretty excited about it. So I think that'll be fun. So, all right. Oh, yeah, and then it is pre-printed as well. That's going to make it easy for us, especially for couching, because I don't know if we want to get that all wet and everything, too. Oh, Amy said shared. So, you guys, thank you so much for your shares on here. Your shares, your likes, your comments, your subscribes. It really, really does make a difference for me here, and I appreciate it a ton. You guys are, like, amazing. So, all right. Let's get on with it. Here is where we're at. We have a whole pile of blocks here. There'll be 36 of these total. We gotta regroup on this project again. It's been a month since we've worked on it. We only have 4 more to make to get to that 36, which means we have 32. That's pretty awesome. So they're all made out of these strips. So we have like shorter and shorter strips. So like, you know, this is the shortest segment we have, which makes us have like 6 segments here. That 6 is going to be chopped up, and it's ultimately going to become like a row of 6 here. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's this little stripe right here is actually from chopping it up off of this little chunk here. So it's kind of a neat process. It's the first time I've done something like this, and I freaking love this quilt so much. So, all right, let's just move ahead and do that. So, like one of these, one full thing of strips like this will equal 1 block. So that is that's the plan. So let's get reiterated with this again tonight. It's been a while, like I said. We do also have all our borders here, so the borders are awfully pretty. We jumped ahead and did the borders just for a break, and some people were asking about the borders as well, so they're looking awfully cute. We also have all the sashing. There's a little strip of this teal in between each block. That's all done, so literally once we get these blocks done, we are ready to just move on. So, all right, I store everything in this little bin, which is kind of awesome, so then I can just grab this and have the project ready. But I'm just going to grab the one on the top here. We also have a few extra pieces that we need. Those will come up in a sec after we finish this first part. So, all right, let's clear the area here again. Ooh, I'm excited for the new month. Ooh, we need the cutting board. I'm excited for the new month and excited for to be working on this quilt again. All right, so here we are. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to separate our chunks here, right? So we have our, like I said, we have our 6 here, and then, you know, this is that shortest piece, but the next shortest piece, we only have 5 strips, the next shortest piece 4, and so on until we get to 2. So the first thing I'm going to do is separate them. And luckily, I know that we have enough on either side here that I can just chop this without a ruler, and I know I'm going to be okay. So that's what I'm going to do. We are going to just trim this up. I'm going to do my best to go straight, but it doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm just going to cut that. These have not been ironed yet. Clearly, they are in need. I'm also going to divide them up between even and odd bits. So like this one has 5, so I'll stick the odds up there. Even away. Okay. Thanks, Amy. That was the next thing I was going to ask. So Amy says even away, and what that means is that I've been having a hard time remembering this, so I appreciate that a lot. But we are going to press on the the strips that have an even amount, like this has 4, so that's an even amount, we are going to press the seam allowances, these little bits here, away from the teal. Our outside color on every block is this teal. So we're going to press those away, and then the odd ones will press towards. So that's kind of why I'm dividing it up between even and odds. Thanks, Amy, though. Like, I literally, like, that's like, I have to rack my brain, like, okay, wait, what direction were we supposed to do these in? So that was super helpful. All right, so we are ready to press. That's really all we needed to do was separate them. So now you can see we got, you know, just our thing of 2, just our thing of 3. So our strips magically turned into, you know, groupings of strips, just what we need. And then we're going to chop these, and then we'll have like our 3 little squares next to each other. And it'll look like we just cut a ton of 1-inch squares and sewed them together, but really they're cut from strips. So that's what we're going to do now, but first we have to press it. So even away, odds towards. So even away from, even we're pressing the seam allowance away from the teal. So let's do all the evens first here. Oh, Lenore, hello from Wisconsin. How's it over there? I found out that my mom and my grandpa are scheduled for their COVID vaccines, so I'm excited for that. So it's good that Grandpa's getting it too. I guess we kind of think he may have had it already, but it's good to get that vaccine. So that's what made me think of it. You said hello from Wisconsin, so my parents are from Wisconsin. So just found out about that today. All right, flip. Even away. I always have to remember. So I used to press these like from the middle out, but I've changed that to kind of pressing the top a little bit and pressing the bottom a little bit and then pressing the middle. Because when I pressed the middle first, all my pieces got a little kind of arced, and you know, you can kind of see it a little bit here. But as we went along, I noticed if I pressed the top and bottom first, it wasn't as bad. So I'm continuing with that thought. I like pressing it, at least for these, I've been pressing them on the back first just to get them kind of laid out, and then I hit it on the front too. I want to get all these folds going well. What? Snow is knee deep? Oh my gosh, Lenore. What part of Wisconsin are you from? I'm not sure it's like that by my parents' house. They're kind of, I guess, I don't know, mid-southern, I suppose. Ugh, I'd call it just slightly below mid, maybe. The middle of the bottom and the middle, let's call that. So that's, I suppose that's quite different than up north. Oh, I should talk to... So I don't know if you guys know, but John, my husband, his parents have now moved to Wisconsin as well, and they're a little further north. So, man, I wonder if they got crazy snow. I'll have to ask. But dang, knee-deep snow. We do not have that in Minneapolis here. Huh. Maybe we'll be getting some snow. Oh, Kenosha. Oh, near Lake Michigan. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, so a little further south. Oh, so you must have got that band that swooped up. Dang, I guess I have not been paying attention to the news. I know someone in, I was looking at okay, so these are the odds, so I'm going to point towards. But Sarah Lawson from So Sweetness, she's in the Chicago area. And I guess they were saying that they had a big storm. So yeah, okay, so you got a bunch of that. Oof. You know, it has been the mildest winter we've had in like ages. It's kind of crazy. Oh, you got your hubs signed up for his first COVID test. That's nice. Okay, towards. Did I put this one towards? Yeah, okay. Odds go towards, the seam allowances go towards the teal. I had to write that down, and I really do appreciate the reminder, because it's like a paranoia that I'm going to get that wrong. Wrong here. It feels right, though. This feels right, for sure. All right, moving on. So we have our, like, everything is pressed now, so it's nice, ready to cut. So I'm going to cut it all at once. So this is, if you're working on this and reading the instructions, we are doing it a bit different. So in the instructions, every time you sew another length of piece on, you're cutting it off. So you'd cut off this piece and press it right away, and then cut it right away. Instead, we sewed all of our pieces all at once, then cut them all, and now we're going to press them all at once and then cut them all at once. So instead of doing them individually, we're doing it all at once. So we have adapted this pattern a little bit, but not a ton. So if you've been kind of hanging out through this whole process versus just starting, this will make a little more sense. I think this is probably a hair less accurate, layering them all like this and trimming, but I hate cutting, and the time it's saving is a lot, I think. So right now I'm aligning just, one of the rule lines here on an inch mark, and I'm just trying to not layer it too much. I'm also putting an edge over, like, on one of these lines. I'm going to start by trimming off the edge, and then we'll rotate and then cut our 1.5 inches, I believe. It's always funny, like the first day back on this project, because we only work on this 1 week a month, so it's been like 3 weeks since we've worked on it. I feel like I can't always remember exactly how it all works. All right. Let's get the shorter ruler out here tonight. Okay, so there we are. I need my cutting glove and rotary cutter. Okay. So first off, we'll trim this edge just so we have a whole nice edge. Like I said, I know we have plenty of extra, so I wasn't worried about cutting it without pressing it or any of that. And I could actually have this quite a bit further over and know that I'll have enough yet. So this actually is that same blade, that rotary cutter blade, that wasn't working for us very well the other day, so hopefully, I don't know, maybe it's learned its lesson and it's being nice tonight, but otherwise it's time to change that blade again. I just feel like the new blade that we put on was not great to start out with, which is a bummer. Okay, 1.5 inches, right? That makes sense. Yeah, because then once we sew them, they'll be 1 inch. Could look at the instructions again, but I think this is right. Okay, there's our first bit. Talking goes away when I cut. This is just like, it's always the most stressful part for me, is this cutting. There's like blades involved, there's a potential injury, and I remember, I think what it is like when I learned how to cut, I always kind of veered off like that. I don't know, did you guys always do that? Like when you started using a ruler and a rotary cutter, I just feel like every time I kind of veer off at the end, or my ruler would slip a ton, so I just am always thinking that that's going to happen, and I'm super paranoid every time. And this is like, a murder blade here. Like, you don't want to cut anything. I've seen too many people's photos on Facebook of cutting down to like the bone or cutting their fingertip off with these. Ugh, just yuck. So I got the glove now. That makes me feel a little bit more safe. I hope it's more than just like theater, though. I hope it's you know, if I would slip, I hope this glove, whoops, would actually do something. See, move my ruler. That's a fear. I do have True Grip stickers at the bottom of here, but I think I need to wipe them down. I'm not sure they're sticking as much as they used to. They're these like little acrylic or silicone kind of stickers. And it really, they help a ton. It's one of my favorite tools, actually, just these little stickers. And it really helps things not move at all. But they get almost dusty, right? Like they're getting, you know, they've been touching fabric this whole time. So I think I just need to take a wet rag to them and they'll be good to go again. But that has helped my ruler from slipping like so much. All right, so I'm going to save these little bits. I do sew those together later. And this is what we're left it with. So we have our, we have 4 1.5 inch pieces now, and they are our 4 sets. So all of a sudden, our strips now look like little patchworked together pieces. That's what's just kind of magic. Those strips just turned into something else. So, all right, at this point, we need to break out the other things. So we got our well-labeled Ziplocs here. So we need 4 of these. So this is like, you know, we went to 2 pieces here. This is like going to the 1 piece. So we need 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. I do have to say it was nice. It's nice now that we pre-cut everything for this project. I was kind of going on the instructions. I don't always pre-cut everything, but man, it's handy now to not have to cut a pile of squares, and knowing that the sashing is already cut, that's super nice. Oh, is that what was happening? So Becky says on YouTube, it was catching when you would go over the seam in the mat. So maybe... Oh, is that like where I was going over with the rotary cutter and that's where it wasn't cutting well? Is that what was happening last week? Because I was having cutting problems last week. I don't know what was going on. But that could make sense, like if it was getting cut in the seam of my because my cutting board has an actual seam here, and if you fold it together, it like becomes flat, which is kind of awesome. It's great because usually I just do it this flat like this, but look at this. I'm just looking now. It has a lot of pretty big gouges in here. So we've worn away at this little baby here. Yeah, so anytime there's a really big gouge in here, I mean, that might be where my rotary cutter isn't working. Wow, it's really pretty big over on this side. We should make an effort to work on this side for a little while, maybe. Okay, let's lay this out. So for now, we don't need the single piece. This is actually going to be the center square. We don't need that yet. And we don't need the one that has 6 in it. So we got to find where that is. I'll find that. But like, let's lay them out at the same time. So we need to stair step what we do have. So the teal is what stair steps. And we're just going like 1, 2, I gotta find where the, oh, here's a 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. The just pieces are all over the place. Here's a 3. Oh, that's a 6. So the 6s we don't need till later. So I'm going to set those aside with that middle piece. That's a 6. 6. It's going to be fun. It's got this really dark bit in the middle. 4, 3. I feel like I might have cut these in a different order than I usually do. It's feeling weird. All right, there's my 5. So now from those strips, we all of a sudden have like this little patchwork bit. Kind of, I love that part. All right, here's some 2s. 1, 2. Make sure the teal or your outside color is what's stair-stepping. Sometimes I'll put it like this and I'll be like, ugh, or you guys will yell at me, and then I'll catch it after you guys tell me about it. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's a 5. 1. Oh, I'm holding the 2. 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this is like the 4 corners of our block. So I'm just going to go around and sew. We'll do these 2 together, then these 2, then these 2, then these 2, and then we'll just keep going around in a circle and keep adding the next piece on. We do need to nest the seams together because we do want these seams to line up really, really well, so we're going to focus on that, just so we have some like perfectly aligned seams so it looks like a perfect little checkerboard. We'll do our best. And that's the deal. So let's get to the sewing machine for that. Again, I'm just going to start with the first 2, and I don't know, go in some sort of circle. If I wanted, if these patterns were super important and I wanted to make sure that each grouping stayed with the grouping and I didn't mix them up, I would make sure to stay going in the same fashion. Like if it's from left to right, or around in a circle, like clockwise or something, but I'm just going to grab and go. They don't really matter for this particular project, so let's do that. All right, let's grab our first 2 pieces. They type really, you guys type really loud. Yep, you type really loud if I'm like about to sew something together that shouldn't be sewn together. The problem is we got that little, I think, 7-second delay here, which is a huge bummer. All right, I'm gonna kind of line up my card here again. Oh, this is also the opportunity to sew a whole pile of our leaders and enders. Oops, I put the fabric blocker in the back, so the wheel isn't getting dented, so forgot to take that out. Ooh, this is like extra shaky today. I might be missing a little. No? Here we go. I think I'm missing a little foot on here. All right, let's get the next 2. Always makes me happy working on this project. Oops. I think I'm kind of going clockwise. Yeah, I'm feeling like we're a bit shaky today. Sorry about that. Let's give this a try. Alright, I think I figured it out. We got it now. Didn't want to make you guys seasick. Alright, so those are our first 4. So I'm going to just remove the first 3. And we'll start the next round. Alright, that's our first one. So now we're going to put the three grouping on. So these are the parts that we want aligned. Like we want this line aligned with that line. So to help us do that, that's why we pressed the seam allowances in different directions. So I should be able to nest these seams together, like bump those folds right next to each other. That'll kind of lock it in place. And that will also, in theory, make it so our seams are right in line. And now I can cut, since we sewed something on, now I can cut that last one off, so we'll do that one now too. All right. So let me know if any of you have purchased the fuzzles or the little scrappy bundle yet. These are like little fuzzles right there. They'll be shipped out tomorrow, so you should be getting them really quick here. But yeah, I'd love to hear if any of you guys got those already. There was a little website issue a little while ago, so it should be working again now. Please email me if you have any issues. We just did a little bit of a revamp on our checkout system, so we're hoping that all the bugs are out of there, but just let me know and we'll figure it out. But it should be working just fine again now. Little one here, and then we're on to the bits of 4. All right, let's snip those away. All right, let's see how we did. Oops, see, nesting the seams together, we got that perfect line going from one to the next. So we're going to try and get that on every single one after that. So this time we'll have 2 of them. But that one turned out great. Like that's right in line. So here we have this one and this one now. It gets harder every time you add more onto it. So I'm going to sew up to the first one. You can actually physically feel those folds like bumping to each other. That's when they're locking in place there. So I'll sew the first one and then I'll line up the second one here. Yep, I can feel that one. There we go. Now I'll sew to the end. All right, hopefully that one should be good to go. Let's grab this one. Ooh, Sally's got the pattern for this. Oh, that's cool. So, yeah. Post your progress in the Penguin and Fish Crafters group on Facebook, especially if you're having trouble or need help with any of it. Yeah, I know, that's the problem, right? There's always like a million projects, right? I was just talking about this to John. Oh, wait, no. I was talking to Jenna about this today. Did I take the 4 off? We are on the 4. Yeah, okay, so those ones are done. I get talking and then I lose my spot. But yeah, when you have a million projects, like, I got a million projects too, so I totally hear you. For me, I have like a little bit of a strategy to choose what I'm working on, and I think I did a blog post a while back about this too. But I'll have to look over it again. But like one of the main things is like, what are you feeling? Like every once in a while, it is just nice to break something out or like try something new. Like if you're excited about something, it's time to just work on it. Get that win of creativity of just trying something. I do store all my projects individually, so it is easy to kind of grab it and go back to it. But, you know, after like that, it's like, what am I like feeling? Like, am I feeling like I need a quick win, or am I feeling like I need to get some unfinished projects done, or I'm feeling the need to like start something new, or whatever it is? I kind of go with that feeling. I kind of get to the point like I want to do new stuff, but then I can only like take that so long before I have to finish up all these old ones. So then I just ride that wave for a little while. And then it's like, how much time do you have, and where are you at? Like, you know, if you're gonna be like at the DMV for 3 hours, then, you know, it might be a little mini crochet project or something, or a little paper piecing project or embroidery project, really. It wouldn't be like, let's break out all the quilt stuff, or, you know, that sort of thing. So time and location help make that determination too, I think. So I don't know, that kind of helps me weed through what to work on when you get hit with the inspiration, I guess, to work on something, or you get like a little moment to yourself. But having each project by itself, I think, really, really does help with being able to just grab and start. Like, if you have to look for all your supplies everywhere and all that, then it's just not going to happen. All right, I'm on the 5th one. Oh, we're halfway done with the 5th one already. Thought I was just starting the 5th one, but it's I already sewed 2. So it's nice having you guys here while I craft. I just get chit-chatting, and then all of a sudden I'm halfway done. Oh man, Gretchen said that she accidentally tossed 4 crucial strips in the wrong pile, but luckily found them, so that's good. Yep. I do have a couple strips left from the border, which scares me a little, but I suspect that I might have just had them extra, but I wish I would have wrote down somewhere that, like, hey, you might have 4 extra when you're done here. Just so I'm not paranoid about it, but we'll find out soon enough once we start assembling this. For now, I'm keeping those extra strips in case we need to, like, make the border bigger or something. So, I don't know. We'll see. Never know. All right, last one, and then we can press these and start assembling the whole thing. Oh, Sally says, I will need help. Well, we are here for you, for sure. Just post in the crafters group, and there's always all these videos to go through, too. And chances are, it'll like, go far faster than watching all these videos. I know tons of you guys are done with this project already. Alright, I need a new leader to take this off the machine, so I'm just going to grab some of my leader pieces from my other project, the Leader and Ender quilt that we're doing. It's about time to sew some more blocks together for that, so you know what? That might be a good Finish It Friday thing to do. It is Finish It Friday this week. Those blocks they're taking up space, and they're ready to get sewn up. All right, fuzzles everywhere here. Let's trim these up, and we'll give them a press. Oops, missed. All right, let's grab our mat here. So these 4 guys, we are pressing, there we go. When we open them up, we have our like little triangle corner pieces. Yeah, I was not all that great on all of these. That is not lined up. This is not perfectly lined up either, but this first row, that is pretty well lined up. It's just whatever comes after that ain't that great, but it'll do. So I'm going to press, this is our like row of 5. We want to press the seam allowance away from the row of 5. Oh, Becky says that I have 2 of those containers and they help me stay organized. I just need about 2 or 3 more. Yeah, so I haven't really promoted these containers. Let me show you it again. I do. So here's the container. I do actually love the size. What I don't like about these specific ones, this is why we haven't carried them in the shop or anything. They don't latch very well. I would love to have one that has like that actual clamp that clamps up. Those I like. So I might actually look for some different ones of these. Because I do like having these nice flat ones, especially for quilting projects. I can just stack them all up on the shelf and I know like what color goes with what project sort of thing. You can actually just like label it on the front here too. But just that they don't clamp very well, it irks me. So I have picked one up and had it all dump out once before, so problem. So when I find some, I'll keep looking, but if I find some that have like a good latch, then maybe we'll have them in the shop or something. Have to dig into that some more. Gretchen says, I definitely need something to keep my projects. I'm telling you, like one of the biggest things, so we all have like limited time to work on this stuff, right? That's just like the biggest thing, like time to work on our crafts. So we need to get rid of all the barriers we can, right? Otherwise it just won't happen. Any barrier in the way and it's just gonna fizzle out. So one of those barriers I feel like is having all your stuff right at hand. And so that's why I divide up projects. I have the pattern, I have the fabric, I have everything in that bin just ready to go. Oftentimes on smaller projects, like for example with that hand quilted swan, which I'm not done yet with either. I'll have to bring that out when we do feeling the need for some hand stitching again. But with that project and some like knitting projects, other projects, I even have like the scissors right in there, the spool of thread that I'm using with it, the needle I'm using with it. I have all of that with the project, meaning I do need extra scissors around. That's why I like all these little embroidery scissors. And I do need extra needles around. But keeping it with the project, oh man, that takes so much pressure off. You don't have to find anything. You know everything is in that bin right away. You can just open it up and start. There is no friction at all. And I'm telling you, if you haven't done that yet, it makes such a huge difference to starting a project. Like if you ever feel like you're getting the energy, you have almost the energy to get going with it, but then you're just like, I'll just do this other thing instead or whatever. A lot of times it's from that just little bit of friction of having to find all the stuff or all that. So having it just ready to go really, really is valuable, I think. All right, we're bringing out the rows of 6 again. So those are ending up to be our like corner little bits, and this is looking awfully cute. This is an extra blue one. So I'm just kind of laying it out here. Then we got our little centerpiece. And there we go. This is looking so awesome. So this is basically a 9-patch block at this point, where we basically have 3 rows and 3 columns. So we'll be sewing the first 2 columns of each row, and then, taking it off the machine, and then sewing the 3rd column of each row. And at that point, we'll take all of it off the machine, we'll press, and then we'll put the rows together. So that is the order of things. Just kind of getting it all in place here. And first 2 are these guys. All right, so this is, again, we have to try and match up all these seams as best we can. So I'm going to flip that over. Try and nesting those folds together. Get my little trusty stiletto here. So I did actually look into this weekend about getting some supplies for making these. Let me know if that's still something you guys are interested in. They'd probably be around, they'd be in the $9 range. So if that's something that you would still want to do, you'd have all the supplies to make, like you'd have the glue and stuff to make more. But I did find some really pretty beads and stuff. So if that is something that you guys are still interested in, maybe I will still go ahead and order some supplies for that. Just kind of a little weird thing making these stilettos, but I do actually really love having them around. So, I don't know. Let me know if you're interested. Alright, fold over. Gretchen says, great presents and so useful. Amy says, yes, the turkey lacer kits. Yeah, I mean, you know, it might be fun to order. I probably wouldn't order a ton, so maybe we might do a little pre-order for it, if that's the case. Or we would do like a first order and then a pre-order of stuff after that. They jazz up a pin cushion. Yeah, that's for sure. I've never stuck one of these in a pin cushion, but they would totally work. Alright, well, maybe I'll go ahead and order some of that stuff. I do have some pretty colors picked out, so it would be just like one color scheme for now, but maybe in the future, if you guys do like these for gifts and stuff, maybe I'll get a few other colors and stuff. The colors that I have, the beads and stuff that I have picked out now for them would make it look like a really pretty kind of like fancy upscale. Really, it would be like a really pretty stiletto to be using. So I'm kind of excited about it, but I just was like, I don't know if anyone's really gonna want these, but it sounds like you guys would be okay with it, so. Alright, well, I'll look into it some more. So what it would be the turkey lacer. It would be a tiny thing of that super glue. And some really pretty beads and the spacers and stuff. So the enders and the spacers that just kind of hold everything real nicely. So it'd be something like that. And it'd be about this size too. It'd be about the 4-inch with about beads about this size. I do have some really pretty like natural stone looking beads picked out that I think would be like really a nice little mini fancy gift for a friend, basically. So okay, I'll maybe order that stuff and see how it goes. See if you guys like them. It'll probably take a couple months to get everything here, but I think it'll be fun. Went down the rabbit hole this weekend looking into that stuff. Yep, in an hour to teach. Yeah, I think it'll be like, I literally think it's like a 15-minute project tops, which is awesome for Christmas gifts and stuff. So I'll order the supplies for it, and then we'll do a little, I'll let you guys know when they are available, and then we could all do one together. We could all do them together, and then you guys can let me know what you think of the project. And at that point, then maybe we can do like a pre-order for like what you might want for like the holidays and stuff. And then I can order, we're talking about holidays next year, but I'll order more for that. Like if you want to make more for friends and stuff, we'll do maybe a couple different orders of them in the middle of the year order and a holiday order. But we'll probably do it a pre-order just so after this first round, just so I know kind of what you guys are wanting for that. But I think it'll be fun. So maybe I'll go ahead and just do that. And like that, I'm done sewing already. Again, I get chatting and then all of a sudden my project's done. It's kind of magic. I suspect that's why people like listening to podcasts and stuff when they sew. They just listen to their podcast and all of a sudden their project's done. Alright, we got our 3 sections here, so we need to press those. So this first one, we're going to press these outward. So like so. I kind of like hovering it on the back because I really do want to go inward. So I'm going to hover on the back. Do you glue on all the beads? So I think in this example, when they are all glued on, you probably really don't have to do that. You probably only really have to put a dab of glue at the end. But, it is kind of nice that they're not swirling around while I'm trying to hold on it. So I would put glue on in between every single one and kind of in there. So yes would be my answer. Yes to gluing it all in there, because you don't want them turning around. You want to be able to hold the bead like it's a nice little handle. You don't want it sliding around on you or twisting around on you. But yeah, I found some like really pretty turquoise beads that we could have as the flat one in the middle, and then some really kind of like mixed kind of stone colors for the outer beads. I think it'll be really pretty together. So those are the colors I'm thinking. So that's the top one. We have the bottom one here. Same deal. Just kind of hovering over it to get it pointed outward enough for me to flip it over. And then I'm going to dig into these folds a little bit more. There we go. And so those ones are pressed outward. This center row, because, we're going to nest those seams together again, so they need to be going in the opposite direction. So these ones we're actually going to go to the center. So I'm just going to start on the outside. Get it that way. Get it that way. And then we'll get it from the front again as well. Okay. That's that. We just have our last little bit of assembly. Oh man, it's almost 9:30 already, you guys. So we are just going to get this one done tonight. I've been kind of yammering a bit more tonight. But there we go. There are 3 rows. We just need to sew those together. At this stage, I have done this mistake a few times, so I have a tip now here. Like, when you're at this point, don't pick up both pieces and try and match them together, because sometimes I've gone like down like this instead of up, or like right next to each other. It gets confusing because there's so much going on at this point. So I lay it down where all the pieces, should line up here, and then I flip it over right here where it's supposed to be. So it stays lined up, and then I'm ready to sew. All right, there we are. So I have that first seam kind of matched up here. All right. Now we're just going to go down and try and get every seam lined up. right, so we're at the middle. And now we're finishing up, going down the other way. Ooh, see, now this one's far apart. My hunch is whenever I don't have something lining up, I still think, like, there's a kind of a big gap here, like an 1/8 inch gap. I still think it's from my original sewing the strips together, not paying attention enough to have perfect 1/4 inch seam allowances. I just kind of zipped the strips together. And I think some more accuracy at that stage would have given me some more accuracy at this stage, but oh well. It is what it is now. All right, so I need another, oops, I bumped you guys there. I need another leader here. Still much quieter. I actually don't hear the motor at all anymore. It's kind of crazy. So those 2 silicone rubber bands I put on are so massively helping. I'm just so impressed with that. All right, now here, same thing. I'm going to line up where it needs to go, line up everything here, and flip it over. There we go, everything lined up. Oh, Sally says, sure, I'll buy one. Something I can finish quickly. Exactly. That's the nice thing about it. It'll be a nice, sweet, like, gift for yourself or a sewing friend. And so fast. I haven't made one with all the supplies that I'm planning on getting yet, but, like, I can't possibly see it taking more than really like 10 minutes or less. And I mean, man, if you're, like, gonna batch make them, like, make a whole pile of them at once for friends, like, it's gotta take, like, in an hour, you should be able to get, like, I don't know, at least 10 done, I would think. Or more, even. Like, it just seems so simple. But I'm telling you, just like, this size and this little flat bead on here has been so nice. It's just, I love it. And I know there's tons of stilettos and stuff out there, but I really like this one. It's a perfect little extra pointy finger where I need it. This is it. This is the last seam here. And I know we usually get 1.5 of these done a night. I know I only got 1 done tonight, but I feel like tonight went by really quickly. It's already 9:30. I'm going to press this and trim it yet tonight, though, so we'll be here for 5 more minutes or so. Alright, I think we'll get that same leader going. So we finished 3 of these guys tonight too, which will be 6 half square triangles worth for our quilt. All right, let's press this. All right, I'm going to go this way. All right, so same thing, I'm kind of, from this side, I'm going to press both of these seams outward, and then I'll flip it around and get it real flat. Noeline says you get penguin and fish beads for the stilettos. I did look into that a little. I couldn't find anything that I really like, so maybe if we really like making these, maybe I'll try and get some of those made. That would be kind of fun. But for now, it's just going to be really pretty beads. But that would be a really fun. Some penguin and fish ones. All right, we got our good, nice, flat block going, looking awfully sweet. All right, there's only one last step here, and that is to cut it, to trim it up. And this is the part that I like right here, though. So we've been looking at it as a diamond this whole time. Really, it's going to be a square. So I love that just little rotation. It totally, I think, changes the look of it, I feel like. So just fun. All right, so I'm going to grab my square ruler. We want this, I think, what is it, like 9 inches? 9.5 inches? No, 9 inches it looks like. Cutting glove. Gosh, now I'm paranoid again. The first day, I never remember all the measurements, so I'm going to grab one of these out here. Okay, yeah, they're 9 inches. So finishing the quilt, they'll be 8.5. So what I'm doing is I'm lining up these little fold tick marks that are in here. I'm trying to line up my ruler along every single one of those tick marks on both sides, like, oops, this side and this side. And what I'm hoping by doing that my 9-inch mark here will also line up, and it's not really, which means my seam allowances are maybe a hair too big. Yeah, it's a little tight here too, so I'm just gonna kind of maneuver a little bit so it's as centered as I can get it. But that's kind of what I look at to know, like, is my seam allowance too big or is it too little? Okay, I think that's looking pretty good right there. All right, let's trim off all these little baby triangles. And this guy. Shimmy sham these out of the way. It is kind of fun shushing them. All right, and then, oops, we can rotate it. So now that nice perfect edge is in the bottom corner, so now I'm going to line that up with the 9 inches. And in theory, they should still land on those fold marks, but I'm trusting that 9-inch mark because I want perfect 9-inch squares out of here. Rotate to cut this if you need to. This is not a good position to be cutting from. Oops, and I'm dealing with the rotary cutter blade now too. So let's go more straight on. There we go. Oops, I just tossed all those triangles on the floor. Oh well. All right, so we have one more block done. So there are just three left of these. So I think we just have 3 days left before Finish It Friday. So I think by the end of the week, we will have our entire stack of 36 blocks here complete. Look how different these two are. They're just all so different. I love this. It's going to be so fun to lay these all out. And that one's pretty. They're all just so fun. It's going to be awesome to lay these out and finally get them sewn up. It's about time here. So, all right, end of this week, we will have all of our blocks complete. Yay, that means in March we'll be sewing this guy together. We can lay it out and we'll start sewing the sashing on all our rows. Ooh, I'm super excited for that. All right, so thanks again, guys. We got one done today. We might be a little bit faster tomorrow. The first day kind of takes us a little while to get back into it, and I don't know, maybe I was extra chit-chatty today, so tomorrow I think we'll probably get 1.5 done. So we might get done a hair earlier. We might have some extra time on Thursday to putz around on something. I don't think we'll start sewing sashing yet because I would want to lay the whole thing out for that. But maybe I can lay it out over the weekend or something and just have the rows ready for next time. We'll see. I might do that the weekend, right before we sew it. So maybe next month in March, right before we start, we'll put it together, or we'll lay it out. And I can probably do that live as well. That'll be fun. So great. So we have the 3 more to do and we'll be ready. And again, thank you guys for getting the bundle if you got it already. New embroidery of the month. We got our Fuzzles bundle. Where we're going to be doing the couching stitch. If you haven't done the couching stitch before, I think you'll really, really like it. It's just, there's a lot of opportunity to do some fun things with it. And then we also have the scrappy version as well, if fuzzles isn't your word. We use fuzzles here all the time, so that's why we're doing it. And then all of the fabric this month is going to be pre-printed. So you'll have the pattern pre-printed onto the fabric, and you'll still get the digital instructions so you know what colors to use and all that. And we'll have the floss and the needle together in the bundles as well. So check that out at penguinandfish.com, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. So have a great evening. I'll be back here tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. Again, thanks for your shares. Thanks for your subscribes. I appreciate it a ton. It's the best part of the day, coming to chit chat with you guys. All right, leaving for real now. Have a great evening. Good night.